Hey guys, this is how to beat zombies, Geists, and necromancers, which is a pretty common set of enemies you're going to be facing together. I'll talk a little bit about fallen heroes and a little bit about the different types of variants you can have here, if it's with or without Geists, for example. Okay, so let's look at this clip to begin with. This is a fight where I walk into an undead camp. I don't know entirely what's in the camp, so we are kind of at luck with at the luck of the draw what we're going to be facing. And on turn 1, I choose to stay in position. I set up for late game zombie killing where I have two-handers that want they want these arcs of swinging, and it is a Necro, a fair number of fallen heroes, one with the legendary shield, and a number of Geists. And this is a pretty common late game occurrence. All right, let's talk about strategy, the builds, and the loadouts that I want to bring to a fight like this. Okay. Strategy-wise, there's two different competing strategies here that you have to pay attention to. A strategy for Geists, an effective way to deal with Geists. Geists are the highest threat on this board, followed by the Necromancer, and then everything else is fairly low threat with maybe the exception of some of the two-handed fallen heroes. At a certain point in the early game, zombies are a little bit of a threat, but in the mid to late game, your gear tends to outgear zombies, and zombies themselves are not terribly threatening. It's the other support troops that come with them that make this fight dangerous some of the time. There's a really nice strategy for dealing with Geists on rough terrain. I don't use it in this fight because it's fairly late enough in the game that I don't feel like I have to, and there's not so many Geists that's necessary to do that. But especially in the early game when you're first fighting Geists and you're on rough terrain, one of the best things to do is to pull back. Geists have Pathfinder, zombies have 6 action points and don't have Pathfinder, which means zombies move very slowly on snow and insanely slowly, only 1 tile on marsh or swamp. And what that means is that Geists move the normal pace over pretty much everything. So Geists don't do anything till the end of the second turn unless you move forward, in which case they activate immediately. So what you can do is just back up, and you back up, I think it's 3 screens basically. You back up 3 full moves backwards, and what will happen is the Geists will then start moving forward, and they will outpace the zombies, and they will engage towards you in such a way that they're basically unsupported and easy to kill. Geists are trying to get within 3 tiles of you so they can shout at you and scare you. So you can always know this. You can always know what a Geist, how close a Geist is going to come to you by the fact that that's its range on its attack. So it's always going to try to get 3 tiles away and start shouting at you. So if you pull back, get them ahead of the zombies, and then set up in such a way that they're positioning themselves 3 tiles away to yell at you, and that terrain is advantageous for you, that's really good. Think like for marshes, if you can leave it so that the Geists are standing in the deep water and you're standing on dry ground to attack them, that's perfect. So that's one way to deal with Geists in the early game. The downside of that strategy is that A, backs you away from the Necro, so you keep the Necro stays out of archer range if you're doing that, and B, the Necro will damage buff zombies to chase you, which can be a little bit of a pain in the ass when you're trying to get away from the Geists and also set up in a position to do that. So if there's no Necro, that's the best way to fight Geists. If there is a Necro, the solution's a little bit more complicated again. So in this fight, we're not sure. We go in, we hold position for half our turn, then we use a hawk to scout out what's happening. We see what we're going to do here. We decide with 4 Geists, it's not that bad. We're going to use our secondary strategies to deal with Geists. And the secondary strategies are to get them in positions where we can kill them using reach weapons, using line attacks, and using things like whips. So Geists are essentially immune to range fire. They only have you only ever have a 5% chance to hit a Geist with a range attack, so you don't waste your time doing that. What you're looking to do is to use 2-handed swords or the new Bardiche axe, which attack in a line that's 2 tiles long, or use whips, which have a 3-tile attack and will hit Geists as well. Whips are a melee weapon, so they roll with melee attack on that. And in the meantime, use your banner to stall out the Geist fear effect until you can reliably deal with it. In the very late game, you might fight fights with like 10 Geists or 8 Geists, and you may want to bring either double banners or some sort of dedicated unit for killing Geists because you will lose to mass panic. Okay, but in this fight, our rough goals strategy-wise are set up a position where we can kill the Geists using reach weapons or line weapons, and then get our archers into a position to deal with the Necromancer. The Necromancer, and then stall everything else along the way. I don't bring it in this fight. It's a late game clip from a previous playthrough, but whips are extremely good in this fight. They both disarm 2-handed fallen heroes. They can disarm the zombie that the Necromancer buffs, in which case he's only biting you, which is a hell of a lot better than being attacked by that extra accuracy, extra AP 2-handed weapon. And they can attack Geists outright. which is just phenomenal. So I really, really recommend for builds, I bring two-handed brothers for damage. I bring mega tanks to hold particularly high density areas, mostly the corners in this fight. And then I'll bring 1 to 2 archers to snipe the Necro, a bannerman, and then back rank DPS of some sort. Whips in particular would be good for this. Not so good mass archers. Archers don't do a lot of damage versus zombies. Weapon type loadout. Having one brother with the undead trophy is really nice. That makes him immune to Geist yells, which means you can use a brother to particularly hunt the Geists in particular, which is great. And I want to bring weapons that are good at killing zombie flesh if that's an issue early game. So early game, things like swords and cleavers are fairly good versus zombies. Axes are pretty good versus zombies. Late game, I tend to want to bring a little bit more to deal with the fallen heroes, which means I want things like hammers and maces. Stagger is decent versus fallen heroes. Daze is very good versus fallen heroes. Stuff that will get through their armor and kill them aggressively. But in the early game, you want to farm fallen hero gear, which means in the early game, you probably don't want to be breaking that gear, and I would rather focus on killing the zombies and then farming the single fallen hero or double fallen hero with daggers. So in this fight, we'll just try to show through this. We find the location. The zombies are going to be moving up. We move slightly forward. I move forward in this situation. The downside of moving forward is it will activate the Geist sooner. Normally they don't activate till the end of the second round, basically. But in this scenario, by moving forward, I'll activate them immediately. But the plus side of moving forward is I get my archer in range of the Necro. So with this few Geists, I'm willing to make that risk. I close ranks here just to protect the archer's position. I don't want the archers having a melee guy next to them, which will stop them from firing on the Necro. And then I do my best to snipe the Necro to set this fight up. I don't have whips for disarm here. We're just basically tanking this, which is a little bit unfortunate. But whips to disarm the buff zombie would be very, very, very good. And you can see the Geists moving in here to set up for yelling. And then you can see the swords that can cleave through the zombies to get at the Geists, which is what we're looking to see happen, because those are the biggest threats by far. Okay, so but what happens when you're fighting without the Geists? So this fight will boil down fairly easily to that, but what happens when you're fighting without the Geists is slightly different. So in this fight here, we're going to be fighting no Geists at all. This is a double Necro, fairly late game zombie fight with a fair number of fallen heroes and no Geists. And it's a very similar loadout, minus a couple things. You don't actually have to bring a banner here, though I do like to bring banners in these fights. It's just a way to make sure that panics don't ruin my fight for me. There's a little bit of annoying terrain in this fight, and there's 2 Necros. And this becomes an archer fight for me. So front line, basically stall the zombies, position forward to get in reach of the Necros, and snipe the Necros with archer fire as soon as you possibly can, because they're the ones putting out all the damage. Again, this is fairly late game gear, but if you were to do this a little bit earlier game, and you will be fighting zombies earlier game, whips are really, really good at disarming high value threats here. And then things like hammers and axes and maces to kill fallen heroes. And if you're not worried about killing the fallen heroes, so you want to farm them, bring things like swords and cleavers. It helps to be able to respec your guys on the fly as much as possible. You can't always do that because of the limited availability of certain weapons. But in the early game in particular, where your brothers are not yet weapon spec, they're not particularly great brothers, and you don't have a lot of end game gear like end game weapons, it's very possible to choose to switch between weapons, like keep arming swords in your inventory, keep cleavers in your inventory, this type of thing. In the very, very, very early game when you're fighting zombies, maybe we'll make another video about that, I'm not sure yet, but just to touch on that briefly, spear walls are okay versus zombies. They do a fair amount of damage. They're unreliable, which isn't great, but they can hold off a flank long enough for you to do damage in the mid-range. The very early zombie fights are a bit of a endurance match, right? Your armor's bad, the zombies keep coming back. Your goal is to kill them before they break your armor, and spears can help stall to do that. But mostly I like just a dedicated shield brother to stall the zombies, while the two-handers or dual grip weapons that aren't using two-handers but are using a one-hander with no shield do enough damage to kill the zombies. Okay, not a particularly complicated breakdown, but it's not a particularly complicated fight. Hopefully this was helpful. Any questions or comments, please let me know. Thanks for watching. All right, Necro or 2, level up on Cold Demon. No idea what he needs. Level up on Ajoran. Getting pretty close, I think, to his final stam there. All right, anything else we need? No, not really. What are we bringing right now? Did we take damage? We should double check that. Bunch of two-handers. There's no Geists, so the Blueberry Hunter's entirely fucking useless here. So I can just bring an axe. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna throw some food in the microwave, chat. We'll take this fight. Back in a sec.
Quitters never win.
Alright, chat. So I got food in front of me. We're going to take this fight as I eat. Probably a slightly slower set of actions than normal, but otherwise should be just fine. I immediately forgot to use the Falcon. Almost certain I'm going to want to go forward here. Can wait till they move up, I guess. Is that a famed shield? A famed undead shield? I've certainly never seen that pattern before. I don't know if it is or isn't. Alright guys, food done. I want to see if this is actually a Fame Shield or if it's just some bizarre thing. Some bizarre colored shield, we'll see. That's a Fame Shield. Wow. I've never seen a Fame Shield drop off these guys, I don't think. But I mean, if this is going to be the run, I mean, this is the run to get Fame Shields, right? So I guess we have that going for us. Back with the shield. Shield dropped again, good. Alright, I wonder what it is. There it is, the Fallen Hero's Bulwark. Oh, it's a kite shield. But surely it's more. No, I think that's just a kite shield. But Filthy, you've not considered. No, that's a kite shield with slightly more HP. I don't want to rub that in, but that is a 45 HP kite shield as opposed to 32. How does that compare to this thing? Well, that's a couple more HP, I guess. Where's the shield I've been using? The other kite shield. We did it, chat. We rescued the shield. Interesting. Necromancer, plethora of armored Widergangers, many fallen heroes. So we can level on that too. Pull the archers for this fight. Bring this in. Do we have another 320 available? I think we do. It's a 300. Still better than an unplated. Banner's fine here. Can bring tanks. Don't have to bring tanks. Like this would be okay. We should get the tanks in. Frontline versus late game zombies. There's no Geists. I guess we can stick the megas on the outside. Oh, wrong guy. Gotta buy a bird now. Remind me, chat, next time we're in a citadel that has a bird at a not terrible price. We want to buy one. two-handed axe dudes can do a lot of damage. Don't know where the fuck the Necro is. Right there. So we need to be 2 tiles closer. We can shoot from there. So we need to go further forward. Okay. They're double Necros? I see double buffs. I don't know why I'm indomitabling. I'm just so used to orc fights in a row here. Doesn't actually do anything. I mean, it matters for that guy, I guess, but it doesn't matter for anybody else. Okay. Here's the second Necro. It's a double Necro fight. Ooh, our first double Necro fight in a while. Kind of nasty. Flows and axes need to die. I didn't bring real archers, I brought hybrids. Double Necros, I might have brought real archers. Don't like up here. Yeah, shit like that's terrifying, right? Need to kill these Necros a little bit faster. No executioner on these guys. These are not the archers. They're the Don't like him being free either. Archer time. Hey, it's one down. So I gotta get this one. Damage buff I can pick up here. Nice. Okay. Headshot. I gotta get this guy. He's behind a bush instead of zombies, which makes him like 10 times harder to hit, which really sucks. You might have to just power through and get to him. A lot of zombies in this fight. So I need to go kill that Necro. Who's gonna do that? Really kind of not sure about that. Guess we're gonna go through the middle with maybe these three. Use blueberry hunters for the Necros, not really. They can't deal with fallen heroes at all. So just need to get somewhere where I can shoot the Necro. That bush is such good defense for him though. It will block like 99.9% of arrows, unlike a body in front of him. What's Abandonment here for? Moral support, really. In case somebody fucks up somewhere. I had a wounded two-handed brother who can sit too. Ow. Seems to be going all right. We don't want to be hit there again. I want to be able to cleave or piercing attack, I guess. I guess it's there. Okay. Finally connected with that. It's unfortunate. Bound to happen sooner or later. Was it a 5%er, by the way? No, quite a bit higher. 29. No shield bonus. No shield bonuses? Ignore. Yeah, ignore shield bonuses. It's fine. That's gonna resurrect. Those can resurrect. I need someone to fight this. Seems like that's probably a good spot. Go. Perfect. Tried to move, funny. Disconnected, unfortunately. Any chance of an early DLC stream? Not that I know of yet. If I do know, I will definitely announce that on Twitter and Discord. If and when I find that out. Is that a 95%er? Sure fucking was. I only see triple mist. The fail ones are dangerous. All right. For the cash, drop the two-handed axe, which would have been sweet earlier. It's pretty irrelevant at this point. We have so many